Hey, God bless you. My name is James White, and I just want to share a little bit about me. When I was 18 years old, I ran with the wrong crowd, did the wrong things, had nothing to do with my parents. You know, my family was Christians. Dad died when I was a young man. I was 7 years old as a young kid on Christmas morning. That affected me. And my mom was always there. She did everything she was supposed to do. I still made the wrong choices and decisions. I did that. I can't blame it on my mom. I can't blame it on my financial situation or circumstances. As a result of that, hanging around the wrong crowds, I ended up getting 2 life sentences, 50 mandatory and 30 for conspiracy. That night, after I got found guilty, I did not want to live because I felt my life was over. I was so despondent, in so much despair, that I just wanted to call my mom and basically say goodbye. But when I called her, her attitude was totally different. It was almost like she knew and she would not allow me to go down that road. Every time I kept trying, she said, James, listen, man gave you that sentence. God did not give you that sentence. The Bible says, delight thyself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. I could not receive that. Having just been given 2 life sentences, 50 mandatory and 30 for conspiracy, my mind could not wrap itself around a future. I ended up going to Rayford, Florida. At the time, it was one of the roughest prisons in the United States. Yep. When they say lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, yes, those are guys in there who praise for you. And I don't mean putting their hands together. Yeah. They look for people. Yes. And as a young man, I was a target for them. Mm-hmm. But the lifestyle I lived, which was crazy, your past and what you do can be a deterrent or it can be a blessing. Because I was in the martial arts when I was young, that followed me, that he knew something, which kept me out of trouble. But after a year of being in the jail, walking around in prison, I was doing what I always did, smoking a very big joint, blunt as you call them now. And God said this, James, look around you. Is this all you want out of life? It's time to serve me. I can give you better. After the second time, I looked at the joint and said, whew, I'm tripping. Because I didn't want to serve him on the outside. Mm-hmm. I definitely didn't want to serve him on the inside because everybody said that's a crutch. Mm-hmm. Okay? You can't man up. That's just, you're soft. Mm-hmm. So as I kept smoking, he said it a third time. Look around you. It's time to serve me. I can give you better. Mm. Well, it didn't take a genius to realize with 2 life sentences, 50 mandatory and 30 for conspiracy, I needed something different. Okay. I didn't know of a book that's written how to do 2 life sentences, let alone the 50 mandatory and the 30 for conspiracy. Mm. So I put the joint out, took my headphones off, and kept walking. But as I did, I looked around at my environment, and it was not a good environment. Talking about the dregs of society, me, and I said, I want something better. I still did not give my life to the Lord. That was on a Friday. The next week, I never called home because I was ashamed of getting into trouble, knowing better. So finally, I called home, and the reason why I never called home, because I knew my mom would say one thing, all she wanted to talk about, and that was Jesus. And I didn't want to hear that. That's why I never called home. So I called home and she says, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. God's got a message for you. I'm like, oh, Mom, what is it? God told me to tell you, look around you. Is this all you want out of life? It's time to serve me. I can give you better. Wow. I can tell you right then, in the middle of a courtyard, on the telephone, I went to crying like a baby. Mm-hmm. Because I knew then and there that the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords was calling me to come to him. I couldn't say it was a coincidence. I couldn't say she thought of these words. If it had been almost like it, I would have escaped. Well, you know, she kind of heard something, but no, these were the exact same words. I had to come to a fork in the road and a decision. What are you going to do with your life? I said, Mom, it's time for me to get saved. She said, yes, I know. I said, Mom, you can't know. It's impossible for you to have said those exact same words. Ladies and gentlemen, from that point on, through trials and tribulations, Psalms 91 was my staple in prison. I trusted the Lord. I had never been in a physical altercation in prison in 32 calendar years. Not because of me, not because of how good I was, but because God honored that prayer in Psalms 91. God told me your past does not define you. Sweetheart, your past cannot define you unless you want it to define you. He has a future for you. Jeremiah 29:11. For I alone know the thoughts I think toward you. Thoughts of good, not of evil, to give you an expected end. What do you want out of life? God is able to give it to you. You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people come around and try to get you high again and try to get you back into that thing. You have to come to a point in your life. God, I want what's best for me. And look out. He will blow your socks. He's been doing that for me. I've been out going on 8 years June 4th. It has been a blessing. It has been a whirlwind. God constantly puts people in my life to show me and help me. So while I was in prison, I was sitting down as I met Brian, my brother. We got different mothers, but we got the same father. And I was sitting down and I just got through helping with the praise and worship, and I was sharing the word. And they said, well, Uncle, do you know anything about rapping? I'm like, well, I believe I could do something. Man, Uncle, you can't rap. I said, let me go to the Lord. The song that God blessed me with is called Spiritually Packing, which means being strong in the Lord. The only way you could be strong in the Lord is to get into his word and let his word get into you. And then you become powerful. You become to the enemy what bullets become to a person. You become a weapon. And he doesn't want that. So if I could borrow, you got a Bible?
I don't have my Bible with me.
Do you have a Bible?
Real quick on my phone.
On my phone, that's where I have it too.
Well, let me see this. It looks like a Bible.
This is nice.
That's good enough.
Okay, there you go. That's
So,
my Jesus Calling by Sarah Young.
I'm going to do this song, and it's called Spiritually Packing. Being strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Listen to the words, okay? Because I got tired of the enemy doing what he did in my life. And I wanted to take back. And so, my brother, yeah, we're in a spiritual warfare. We have to put on the whole armor of God.
The breastplate of righteousness,
The sword of truth, and the helmet of salvation, and our feet shod with the preparation of peace. I'm going to mix a little old school with a little new school. It's going to go a little something like this. Yeah. It's okay if you bob and weave. All right. Check this out. This ain't no sneak attack, Satan, coming right up in your face. You've been chilling down below, setting demons in your place. It's about to change, at least you can bet. I'm spiritually packing, and the victory's a set. AKs, Tech 9s, I got my blocks in place. Hold it loaded, King James version all up in your face. See the demons and ducking and dodging, trying to find a place. I get through with you, you're gonna run for space. I know you might think this is a joke, but with a cap inside your head, all you're gonna see is smoke. Smoke, wonder and tremble. What kind of guns can these be? Regular bullets shouldn't have no effect on me. This ain't no mystery. My word is true. My ammo is the word of God. My spirit is too. Hooked up my main man JC to me. You know it's Jesus Christ, the power to be. I'm wrapped up in his word. He's anointed me. All you demon suckers, get ready to flee.
get ready to flee.
Yeah, I told you we were coming. Ha ha. AK's in the word, spiritually packed. Tech 9's in the word, spiritually packed. I got my blocks in place, spiritually packed. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. AK's in the word, spiritually packed. Tech 9's in the word, spiritually packed. I got my blocks in place, spiritually packed. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. I know you've been running your game time, but your life is short and it ain't worth a dime. So you better step aside and cut me a wide berth. I'm God's prayer warrior, I'm gonna take back this earth. I know you demons thinking you can run, hide in hell, but what I got packing gonna be your temporary jail. I'm coming on strong, in minding His name, and now your spiritual realm will never be the same. Make K's in the Word, take 9's in the Word. I got my Glocks in place, I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. AK's in the Word, take 9's in the Word. I got my Glocks in place, I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. I'm living like that. Yeah, I'm living like that. Yeah, I'm living like that. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. The K's in the Word, the 9's in the Word. I got my Glocks in place, I'm living like that. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. I'm packing C4s, and angels got my back. Told you demons you was under attack. I'm prayed up spiritually. It's for real, not an act. No place is safe. I'll hunt you from sea to sea. Till you're bound like a fly bound eternally. There's no other way. I know it's cruel, but for too long, chump, you played me like a fool. Now I know all that's about to change, cause you're the one, Satan, gonna feel the pain. I know what you're thinking, bringing up my past. For me, the future's straight. I can bet it's gonna last. I hear the trumpet sound and the message is clear. Told you, chump, your end was near. I got 1,000-round clips to let you know that I'm spiritually packing and it ain't for show. Y'all ready? AK's in the Word, spiritually packing. Take 9's in the Word, spiritually packing. I got my Glocks in place, spiritually packing. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. AK's in the Word, spiritually packing. Take 9's in the Word, spiritually packing. I got my Glocks in place, spiritually packing. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in the face. Yeah, I'm living like that. Yeah, I'm living like that. Are you living like that? Are you living like that? AK's in the Word. Take 9's in the Word. I got my Glocks in place, spiritually packing. I'm living like that, and I'm right up in your face. Hallelujah. So you have to be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Don't be afraid of what the enemy can do. Rejoice in what God can do. God bless you. He's got a future plan for you, and it is wonderful.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful.
Outstanding.
Wow, I don't know how I'm going to follow that. Goodness gracious. So James had a long time to think about that. 32 years, that's insane. James, I was incarcerated with James, and he was 100% the most positive person I ever came across. He's never got into a fight. And I think the fact that he was the biggest guy that was in my pod might have a little something to do with it. No, seriously, James was one of a kind, and I never forgot him, and we stayed in touch, as hard as that is in the prison system. So my name is Brian. I am an ex-con, and I'm here today because there are 2 million people in this country that are in prison, and it's a very tough challenge to get out once you are locked up, once you're punished. The psychological things that go on with people like me trying to get out. Most people don't really have a clue what it's like to get out of prison. And so I want to tell you something that I've found, a secret, is that you've got a couple ways of learning in life. You can go the easy way, you can go the hard way. You can go get an education at Harvard Law or Harvard University. It's $80,000 a year to go to Harvard, and you can graduate and have a diploma, and you're set for life. But there's a secret that I've learned, is that you can go to prison, and with the right mentality, with the right game plan, you can come out with something just as valuable. Because surviving the prison system and surviving re-entry is is life-changing. And if you can do it, then my secret is that you are stronger than 95% of the planet. And that's how tough it is to come back from drugs, to come back from alcoholism, homelessness, mental issues. It is imperative to start from scratch. And so that's my first lesson is that starting from ground zero is a beautiful thing. And you're right now at ground zero. That's the best place to start because we reinvent ourselves. Joyce Myers, who wrote Battlefield of the Mind, she said, it's never too late to press into a new beginning. You know, as long as you have lungs, breathe in air, you can start over and become something new. And here's the problem, is nobody can do it but you. There's only one person on the planet that can change me, and that's me. I've spent 48 months in inpatient rehab facilities where I was given seeds and people taught me information, and if I would have learned what I was taught as a teenager in my first little rehab then, if I'd have just let it sink in, but I was hard-headed. I had to learn every lesson the hard way twice. And I always felt like I had to find this special date, this momentous occasion to change my life, turn my life around. Like, it's got to be New Year's Eve, or maybe my 21st birthday. I can remember smoking cigarettes, seeing some guy quitting on his 30th birthday, saying, hey, that's a good date to quit. I'll quit on the 30th birthday. And it's amazing how easy it is to change those dates when that's your strategy. Soon it goes from New Year's Eve to your wedding anniversary to Mondays. It's got to be a Monday, or maybe I'll do it on a Friday, or you know, it's ridiculous the excuses that we can give ourselves. But starting new out of prison, starting after your 5-week course in the Ready for Work program, that's a great place to begin. And my best advice is to forget money as a priority. I know everybody needs money. I know that it is one of the roots of evils. I know it is a big factor in our happiness in this world. But I can tell you that I know a lot of rich people that are miserable all the time, like miserable. And I know some broke people that are happy, that are always have a song in their voice. And it doesn't come from money. And it comes from strength and wisdom. So I want to encourage you to find your strength and to seek wisdom. Those are the two cornerstones of getting out. And they start with honesty. Winston Churchill said, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may deride it and ignorance may derail it, but in the end, there it is. So stand on truth when you go out looking for jobs. You know, when I first got out of prison, I knew I was going to be rejected. I had this feeling, I got arrested for second-degree felonies, and I was going to have to tell people this. I was like, I guarantee people don't want me around. And so to get used to that, I decided I was going to go to the Ritz-Carlton. And I wasn't going to fill out an application and write in small print. Where it asks, you got any felonies on your record? I'll speak to you in person. You know, because I can give them a really good story in person. You know, I decided I wasn't going to do any of that buffer stuff. My introduction was, hi, my name's Brian. I got out of prison 2 days ago, and I need a job. And I had felonies. I screwed up big time. And I just put it out there because at the end of the day, my mom knows, and nobody else really matters. You know, we've got our small circle, our family, our relationship with God. That's really all we're going to take with us through life. And that's really all that matters. So thinking these impressions that guys say, well, I'll dress up real nice and I'll use my best verbiage and I'll keep my past a secret. Let me tell you a secret. Your past is your greatest strength. Getting through the madness we've gotten through is our greatest strength. And as soon as we embrace it, just like Eminem in that famous rap battle, you know, he was about to get his butt whooped and he just spewed all the negative stuff about himself. The guy had nothing to say.
Yeah.
You know, so when I introduce people like that, when I meet new people, I say, hey, I did 6 years in prison, so I can't screw up anymore. That clears up a lot of nonsense. You know, they understand when I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm not going to that party because I'm working on myself. And so I've developed some important steps that I want to suggest and recommend to work on yourself day one when you get out. And the most important thing is mornings. I want to beg you to become a morning person. Everybody, I've heard a million reasons to not be a morning person, and it all comes down to you don't want to give yourself the best opportunity for success in life. You wake up and you make a plan and you tackle your goals every single day. And for me, that has finally evolved into, I get up at 4 a.m. Every morning, and except Sunday, I sleep in Sundays, but 4 a.m. I'm up, and I spend the first hour listening to motivational speakers, listening to people that have been in crap, have gotten out of crap, and wrote a book on how to get out of crap. And, you know, it's so simple. It's so simple, but I tell you, it's also really easy to not do. It's really easy to say, I know what they're going to say, I don't need to hear it. I heard one, I heard them all. I've got a friend that just did 10 years in prison, and he refuses to read a book. I've been trying to help him change his life and look at things a little different. And this guy said, if it's not in a fiction magazine, I'm not going to read it. And that's a huge mistake. And so I'm looking for people that are willing to say, you know what, my way didn't work. And I'm not going to trust my brain. That's one thing I learned going to prison. I went for 3 years. I got out. I didn't change a thing. See, there's two ways you can get out of prison. You can come out a better criminal, or you can come out a better Christian. You can come out a better person. You can't do both. You know, you go to prison. Some guys go to prison, and you know, pre-trial, nobody says a thing. It's zips, lips locked. Nobody's saying a thing about their case. You get on the compound. You know, there are criminal superstars out there. Yeah. You know, this one little glitch, man. If I didn't have this one little problem, man, I'd have been the best crew. You know what? Tell you, the best crook never got caught. You know, so what happens though is this one supervillain, he'll meet one guy that's a master of that little glitch, and they'll buddy up, and now we got a super combo. Batman and Robin crooks out here trying to fix their life by solving that glitch. You know, and that's what I did, man. I tell you, that was what I did my first time out. I was like, God, I was stupid by myself. You know, and then that second time my co-defendant got caught first and spilled the beans, and I'm like, damn, maybe co-defendant wasn't smart either, you know. And so, you know, 10 days after I got arrested for my second 3-year stretch in prison, I shaved my head bald and I said, you know what, I'm done listening to me. I'm done listening to Brian, and I'm going to try no shortcuts. I'm going to try the hard way. And, you know, I got a job on the food cart. And I started cleaning bathrooms and toilets, and I worked my way up to serving food on the food cart, which, you know, that's a 30 cents a day job. You know, so all y'all out there looking for a job, remember in prison they got a job 30 cents a day. You know, you can make your $9 a month on the food cart. The highest paying job in prison is $1 a day. I made it to that job too. As a matter of fact, I made 33, my last 5 months, I made $33 a month working the prison system. And here's where I want to remind you, money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much they paid me. I had a job, I was earning, and it gave me the mental satisfaction that I was doing the best I could do at that stage in life. Because a job does not define you. A job is a stepping stone to a better job. That's all they are. So if you accept whatever job you got, and you say, you know what, I'm going to humble myself and I'm going to be the best damn bathroom scrubber I can be, you're not doing it for anybody. You know, the enemy will tell somebody, come up, why are you cleaning that fool's bathroom? You're a sucker. One of my co-defendants came up to me. I was building worker in the minimum security building up in Delaware, Sussex Correctional Institute, and I had to clean the buildings. I was basically the building do boy. And I'm out there mopping, and one of my co-defendants came and he bangs on the glass. He's like, what the hell are you doing? I looked at him, I said, I'm going home, man. What are you doing? He said, you're a sucker working for these people. I said, you call me a sucker. And so this guy was gambling. You know, he was getting high. You can get high in prison. You know, you try and tell somebody they can't get high. That's why the drug laws are a joke in this country. It's hilarious. Nobody is concerned about your laws. You're just ruining people's lives. There's got to be a better way to teach drug prevention than to make something illegal. Because you know what? Murder is illegal. People kill all the damn time. Legality has nothing to do with it. So that guy that told me I was a sucker, you know what? I climbed the hierarchy in the prison system. It was cleaning the toilets, serving food, building worker, Then I, became friends with the guards because I was changing my life. I was positive. I had humility. And hey, Van Hucker, yo, can you switch me to minimum? Because minimum security, they have the best jobs. Because in minimum security, you can get a gate pass. You can go be a car wash guy. You can be the newspaper guy. You can clean up visitation, see people. There are a lot of really good, they got road crews out there. So I was like, I'm going to try and get the best job in prison. And I got bumped to building worker. So now I got the office people in my ear. Hey, how y'all doing? It's been a nice day, positive attitude. Eventually people are like, man, this guy's a nice guy. Let's see if we can help him out. Because everybody got someone they love that's messed up on drugs. Mm-hmm. Everybody on this planet, they love somebody that's a screw up. And whether they've written that person off or not, if they find somebody that's honest, that's putting all their dirt out there and say, hey, you know what, I'm a screw up, but I'm getting up, people want to help people like that. You will find help in the craziest of places. So I found myself as a building worker over the work release building. And I was able to bring a buddy of mine with me. Hey, and my talk game was so good, I was like, hey, I want to go over, can I apply for this job? Well, sure, well, I need to bring my friend with me. He's a real good hard worker too, And I was like, all right, whatever, they don't care. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Mm-hmm. So I made it to the building worker and started the prison hustle. And I saved money and selling coffees and doing laundry for guys, folding laundry, making $5 a bag. The inmates, they had a choice. They could put their laundry in a bag and throw it in the big industrial size, or for $5. Hey man, I'll get your laundry, I'll separate the whites, I'll bleach them, I'll fold them, they'll be on your bunk when you get back. Guys in prison 5 years, now they're in work release, they got money for the first time, that's a no-brainer. $5, heck yeah, man. They want to spend that money. So, you want to go to the vending machine? 2 for 1. So I was making money in prison, mailing it home. My parents are floored. They're, what? Why are you mailing us? How do you mail us cash? Right? So, hired a lawyer from the work release building worker, got out 8 months early.
Wow.
So that guy that called me a sucker because I was going home, 8 months. I went in front of my judge. The first thing he says to me was like, why aren't you in your prison uniform? Well, Your Honor, I've been a building worker in the work release building. We're allowed to wear street clothes over there, sir. And I've reintroduced myself to society. I've got a sponsor. His name is Father Steve. He brings AA meetings into our prison once a month, sir. He's sitting in the back pew. My job's waiting for me. And the judge was like, so why is this guy, asked the state offender, state prosecutor, he's like, what's going on? And all I wanted was them to suspend this 6-month, another rehab they were sending me to where, there's half the guys in there were drug dealers that had no clue what being a drug addict was like. They were just trying to avoid a 10-year sentence, which I don't knock them for. Being a drug dealer is a mental illness, I know guys that sold drugs to their aunt, to their mom. That something's wrong with you if you're selling crack to your mom and your aunt. It's just what, people are taught. And so I got out, and the judge, he looked at the state prosecutor, and he said, we're going to rewrite this. And he gave some numbers. I looked at my lawyer. I said, what does that mean? He said, it means you're going home. I said, when? He's like, today.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can still remember that moment where today, I'm like, today? Best case scenario. You never know what God has planned for you. So I called my parents, and they're living in Florida. I'm up in Delaware, and they're like, thank God I had amazing parents. My parents stuck by me. I had a truck when I got arrested, and instead of selling off the truck, my dad paid it off and let my nephew use it, and let my sister use it. He found a use for it, and so they said they were going to bring me my truck. Now, if that's not a white privilege, I don't know what is. I was born white with upper middle class, smart, loving parents, and there's so many guys in prison that are on their own. I mean, I barely made it with basically rich parents that were willing to bring me a truck. You got guys out there trying to get a bus pass, trying to get a ride, whatever. I can't imagine how hard it must be. I just know that if you get through it, the prize is better. If you can make it through that struggle, then the reward God has in store will blow your mind. And so Father Steve was the one, he's like, wow, after court, we go up, he's like, oh my God, this is amazing, you got out. And he's like, do you have anywhere to go? And I'm like, no. He's like, you can come with me. You come live with me. So this guy who I had only seen 5 times in person, once a month he'd come. and to the prison and have an AA meeting. And so there'd be 50 guys, 3 would talk. I was always one of them. And, he met me, said he would meet me, and he's like, yo, you can come stay with me. And he's like, you just, you live for free till you get a job, and then when you can afford it, you pay me $100 a week, and you can stay as long as you need to. As long as you, don't drink, don't do drugs, do what you're supposed to do, I'm like, wow, it sounds great. I don't know what I'm moving into. Could be a crap trailer, but you know what? It ain't jail. I don't know how that is. It could be a tent in his backyard. I'm pretty cool with that. So he picks me up the following morning, longest weekend of my life. So court was Friday. That getting out today turned out to be, Monday. Nothing moves quick in the DOC. So longest weekend of my life. Oh my gosh, the guards were screwing with me. Sergeant was coming up like, yo man, we didn't get no paperwork on you. I don't think this is going through. Nobody wanted to see me get out 8 months early. I'm telling you, from the other inmates to the guard, haters galore. Thank God Carter 3 had just come out, and I was listening to Lil Wayne. Hi haters, because, I can get some motivation from music. Yeah. Music is a powerful tool. And that's one of my lessons at the end. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to advise you to shut music off for a few months. Because music is dangerous. Music brings you back to places, and music has built-in forgetters, and music is trouble. It has got potential. When I was 17, my mentor was a escaped gang member from Los Angeles who robbed people for a living, and I lived in upper middle class South Florida. And I was 16, and I was going and hanging out with a 26-year-old gangbanger that showed me menace to society and Boys in the Hood, and we listened to gangster rap and convinced me to be his getaway driver. And, I committed my first armed robbery at 17 because of who I idolized, because the movies were what I wanted to see. I was like, wow, this sounds so cool. I don't want to mess with these squares. This is where the excitement was. So I know that music can be a dangerous tool. So that's why today at 4 a.m., my first hour, getting my head right, I listen to Jim Rohn, Les Brown, who's an amazing speaker. This guy talks about you got to be hungry, because it doesn't matter your story. It doesn't matter what trouble, because trouble hits us all, and you can turn any recipe into success. No matter what your story, if you're still breathing, you can become a success if you break it down to the basics. That means get up, get your head right, make a to-do list every day. You go get yourself 2 of these lists, 2 of these books, and you put on the first one, goals, year goals, life goals, and you get another one, and you put on daily goals, your to-do list, every chore you need to do that day, and you start every day with putting yourself first, and soon it becomes a habit. And all the money you make, don't ever spend more than 70%. That's another mystery with life that I'm just now grasping, is it doesn't matter whatever job you get, doesn't matter how much you get paid. Don't argue your pay. Take whatever they got. Anytime, if there's a ladder to climb, I'm telling you, it won't take long for you to stand out. If you are going to bed early and you're waking up with studies, exercise, get your exercise right. That's step 2. That's why I wake up at 4. Wake up at 4 to 5 is I study, I listen to my tapes, 5 to 6. I go run. Any cardio. The stinking thinking that will dominate our heads, and still, I get it all the time. It goes away when you have an accelerated heart rate. If you don't know the answer to a problem in your life, go get your heart pumping. Go run, go bike ride, cycle, whatever you do. Running's my best because that's man's basic extreme mode. You go to the caveman, the most extreme he can get is a full-out sprint. So wherever you are, if you're overweight and you got to waddle, whatever, you go do it, and you do it for a half an hour every morning. That means to start your day, because my best ideas come on a run. My best ideas when I'm exerting myself. And I smoked for 25 years. I've got really, really healing lungs. I'm speaking healing into them, but they struggle. And I don't care. I'm hacking up. People are like, yeah, it's starting to get better. Starting to get better, right? But here, here's some of the secrets that I found out. Is that workforce is so much crap nowadays that it does not take long to stand out. And I would say, 4 to 6 weeks tops of being the showing up early 10 minutes, good attitude, honest, humble, hard worker. That's where opportunity is going to strike, because you will stand out quick and bosses will want you in better positions. Bosses do not want to have an amazing person stuck in a crappy position. Our past is going to make us walk in the crappy door. That's just the what it takes. That's what it takes from now. We got to be able to say, hey, I'm walking through the crap door. I'll start at the bottom. But it's a gift if you can accept it and embrace it. And so I want to encourage you to do what you can and don't trust yourself. Give yourself, pick a timeline, 100 days, where you make the plan and stick to it. Don't let your mind come up with the plan as the day evolves. Right. And it revolves around stand guard at the gate to your mind. Be careful who you talk to. You will get negative influence from the closest people you have. Your family, whether they mean to or not, will have bad ideas because they don't know what's going on in your head. They won't be able to see your imagination of the future you're creating for yourself. So they don't want you to get hurt. My mom has been telling me for years, oh, don't try this. Oh my gosh, I started doing Spartan races. I started doing ultra races, 30-mile races over obstacles. I'm 46. And my nephew at 23 died running a half marathon. So my mom's freaking out. She's like, you can't do that much. And I'm like, look, Mom, if God wanted me dead, he had about 100 opportunities to do that. So, all it does is heal yourself. So you wake up, you make a plan, you push yourself physically the best you can, and then you stay honest happiness throughout the day. It's so hard to do on a continuous basis. That's why I got my plan. I got my books every single day. I get a to-do list. I'll write down everything I need to do. Call my probation officer, exercise, cardio, study, pray. Thank God you're out here doing it, because once you get that struggle, once you start saying, oh, it's Friday, let me try the drinking again for a little bit. It's such a gamble. That's why lottery is such a fool's play way to go through life. Cut corners will only cause hardships. There are no shortcuts in life. Mm-hmm. Do not think there's a shortcut, because its blemish will pop up. Mm-hmm. I promise you. I don't ever play. The saddest thing I see is somebody that I know is living in poverty, and they're at the Quickie Mart getting $20 of scratch-offs. I'm like, just take $20 a week and put it into an account. $20 a week. That's, you just ignore. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do, but if you know what, if you tuck in, you say, I'm going to bust my tail for 6 months. I'm going to put $20 a week aside. That's all I can do. And then I'll take $20 and go give it to somebody worse than me. That's the thing. That's where the 70% rule comes from, is don't ever spend more than 70%. Whatever you make, take 10% and tuck it away for yours. Take 10% and play with it as far as an investment, trying to make that money earn for you. And then take 10% and give it to somebody less fortunate. God will find another way to give you that money. You have got to trust that God will do that. I was doing a movie in Fort Myers, and the lady was paying cash, and she totally forgot that in my emails I'd say 10% discount for cash. And so this lady owed me $5,500, and she pulled out $5,500 cash, threw it at me, and I took it. I was like, she's like, thank you so much. I went and sat in my truck, and I was like, cash, I need to give her $500 back. Yeah. And I can't tell you how hard it was for me to give this lady $500 back. I did not want to do that. I got 3 little kids. I cannot pay my bills. Nobody will know, but I'll freaking know. Mm-hmm. And that's what is so important, is you don't impress for anybody else. Mm-hmm. You're going to find people at your job. You busting your tail at your job. Why are you working so hard for these people? Man, I ain't working hard for these people. Mm-hmm. I'm working hard for me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn myself into a hard worker that is going to attract the next millionaire out there that says, hey man, why are you working for them? You need to come work for me. Greatness will find you. Mm-hmm. You become great for yourself. You bust your tail for yourself. And that is it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to stop there. I want to wish you the best.
Thank
You
you
know,
so
you've got a gift here. You are just graduated with a Harvard degree. It's just as good. If I have 2 applicants come and apply for a job in my company, and one's a college graduate and one just did a 5-year bet, I want the 5-year bet best. You know, because that college graduate ain't done shit but learn how to do a beer bong and take some hard tests. But that doesn't help in life. That doesn't help when life hits a fan. You know, that person over there, they've been through life. You can't cheat prison. You can cheat college. I cheated college. It's real easy to cheat college. Those professors, they love to talk. I'm good at the lead, you know. And now with these phones, I mean, you don't really got to know anything anymore. You know, knowledge is no longer a requirement. You know.
Incarceration. You can't say that.
So you give me somebody that's done some hard time and is trying to work their program and get their life back, because there's nothing stronger than a man who has rebuilt himself from the depths of despair.
Yeah.
I'll take that guy any day.
Absolutely.
So that's the gift you got. So day one, don't cut corners, don't substitute, and just know it's all for you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.